You started Beetroot Media with the intent of connecting younger audiences with unbiased and non-glamorized news. Give us the backstory of Beetroot Media and how it came about.
Well, anyone who's tracking Indian news media or the mainstream corporate news media will tell you that over the last decade, maybe 7 years or so, there's been a systematic dismantling of the ability to ask questions, the ability to cover the news as it should be. News, the mainstream news, especially on television, is largely being run by government and for government. And as a result, a lot of independent voices are now using social media to get in touch with the audience because they were all removed from their jobs, me included. What
Mm.
the process with Beetroot News was to simply sit down and say, what do we need in India right now? There is a total lack of credibility with mainstream news because um, they're partisan entirely. Their main advertisers, are political parties and governments, and so there is a lack of credibility there as well. So in India, there's no shortage of information. There's a shortage of credibility. So the idea with Beetroot News was to be able to use social media, to use our app, to use YouTube, speak directly to the audience, and provide various levels of fact checking and like you said, a de-glamorization of news, where we're not putting out news that's algorithm driven or that's clickbaity in the way it's written in terms of the headlines, but actually simply just tells you what happened in the most matter of fact way possible and leave it to the audience to decide how they feel about it. Unlike what's happening on television, where they're constantly being told, you should be angry about this should upset you, or you should be afraid, but to actually allow the audience themselves to decide whether something is good or bad and, not insult their intelligence by attempting to lie to them or manipulate the news or overstate anything that has happened. So that was the route that we started with Beetroot News. And simply on Instagram, for example, we just write out the news on a daily basis, and it's grown to currently reaching 100 million people every month who come in to just read the news. Uh, 50% of those people are women, at least on a really good week where there's an election or there's a big news event, it goes up to 250 million people. Several of those are members of the Indian diaspora who live overseas in New York and
Mm.
in Washington and in LA, and across UK and the UAE. So it's young Indians are connecting to the way we do the news.